My name is Joan LeMay. It's Thursday, July 29th, 2024, and I'm a painter. I studied painting along with journalism and communications at the University of Houston and City and Guilds of London Art School, and I spent 17 years as a music publicist, longer than that doing various things in the music universe. I always painted and drew, but the first real distributed or reproduced visual things I made were fanzines and flyers for punk and indie rock shows in the 90s. I was drawn to portraiture from the time I was an only child in Texas, going to the Museum of Fine Arts Houston and the Menil Collection. I used to make a beeline for František Kupka's The Yellow Scale, particularly. I've always wanted to surround myself with images of people, fortify myself with them in a way, from the time I was a teen who had a room plastered with images of beloved bands. There's a through line between portraiture, iconography, religious or otherwise, and physical music and pop culture media. We're drawn to these images of other people because we want to have something of their energy come through us, or we want to be reminded of something they or their work made us feel or remember about ourselves. Or we just want to be close to them, be with them in whatever way we can. There's that old trope about every person you see being God, or about how every person on earth serves as a mirror to each other. Even my still life paintings are about a particular person or an experience with a person. I do a lot of self-portraiture, a lot of which is pretty raw, nude self-portraiture, and it's both the kind of work you make when you're up your own asshole and the kind of work you make when you long profoundly for something. In terms of inspirations, Alice Neel is my number one with a bullet, and Hockney is right behind her for me. They're popular inspirations for a reason. Kupka, Alex Katz, Derek Erdman, Mel Messer, Marcel Zama, Matisse, Twombly, Bernard, Magritte, all the usual suspects. What's most challenging about being an artist is developing the discipline to make work even when you don't feel like it, or when the conditions aren't right, whatever that is to you. The inspiration fairy isn't always going to hit you over the head with her stick, and neither is the energy fairy. The truth is that the only way things start to flow a lot of the time is if you've disciplined yourself enough to open your own floodgates by force. There's a big difference between knowing this intellectually and actually showing up for yourself in the studio every day. Most of the advice I'd give to my younger self is the same advice I'm giving to myself now. Collaborate with other artists more, go see more shows, apply for more opportunities, put on and be in more shows. Focus less on what you've done in the past and more on what you want your future self to be doing. Give fewer fucks. Although I identify as a painter, I love the intimacy of drawing as a practice. Graphite, charcoal, pastels, and ink. And I love the surprise elements of printmaking. What I listen to while I work has changed a lot over the years, but one thing has remained constant. Whatever's going into my ears comes out through my hands, so I have to be very careful about what's going in. For a very long time, I could only listen to podcasts or instrumental things, jazz and classical, while I worked. It's largely the same now, although now I intentionally choose to change the channel on what's coming out of me gesturally by tweaking what I'm listening to more often. If I want to help myself with fluidity, I can listen to the Cocteau Twins or Lush. If I want to be really gestural, I can listen to Fugazi or The Fall or the Dead Kennedys or something. I was very lucky to have Quantum Criminals, the art and essays book about Steely Dan I did with my book partner Alex Papademas, be very well received by The Atlantic, NPR, Rolling Stone, the New York Times, the LA Times, and lots of other folks who said incredibly kind things about both my work and Alex's writing. We got to do a book tour, guest on lots of podcasts, go on WNYC, and we signed a 2-book deal with Random House as a result of it. I made 120 paintings for that book, and I'm just now getting back to the task of making 120 paintings for our follow-up, Friends of the Devil, which is about the Grateful Dead. I took about a 2-month hiatus from everything recently because I had to have open heart surgery, which I'll continue to recover from well into 2025. The irony of painting about the dead during a period of time when I actually skirted death is not lost on me. I won't lie about the fact that the warm insights people have made about my work, both the book work, my personal fine art work, and other for-hire work, in the past year and a half have helped me tremendously during this time as I retrain my body to paint. I hope that people recognize themselves in what I do, that my work can connect with people in a way that makes them think about the human condition in all of its folly and glory.